Alejandra Díaz presenta.
Dr. Wallach is back, and I'm telling you, he is something else. I had him lay his hands on my Bible yesterday and vow that everything he says is truth, and you did. You want to do it
yes,
again?
Sir, both hands, not one, both
This
hands.
is how I'm going to start the program, that you're absolutely going to tell me the truth and nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
Help you God. You know, we're talking about health, nutrition, and how many people he's helped. Andrew Young, the mayor, former mayor.
And also, he was the ambassador to the United Nations under Jimmy Carter.
Right, and you helped him with his knees where he didn't lose.
He canceled his double knee replacement surgery.
Creflo Dollar, his daughter is now
asthma-free.
She's free from asthma.
For 10 years, yeah.
Because of you.
Yes, sir.
And other people you've helped.
Actually, it's God's
Of course it's the Lord, but he used you. You're his instrument. And through how? What did you do to these people? How did you help Andrew Young, and how did you help Creflo's daughter and all the people you're helping?
Well, both arthritis, Pastor Benny, and asthma are both nutritional deficiency diseases. Doctors will tell you that arthritis is genetic, it's in your family, and if they can't find anybody in your family who has it, doesn't your dog have arthritis? They're always looking for some way to, associate with your family. But arthritis, 95% is due to just simple mineral deficiencies. That's osteopenia, osteoporosis, osteoarthritis, degenerative arthritis, bone-to-bone arthritis, all mineral deficiencies. Rheumatoid arthritis is a simple infection with a bug called mycoplasma. I can cure that disease, rheumatoid arthritis, in 2 weeks with an antibiotic called minocycline. I'll kill that bug, then it'll take several months, maybe 2 months, to rebuild all the damage.
How come other doctors don't say what you're saying?
Because they'll only make $300 if they cure you. If they treat you, they make $750,000 over 25 years. Why would they want to make $300 when they can make $750,000? Because there's no law requiring them to cure you when there's a cure available.
So they give you medication?
Yes, sir. Unfortunately, that's the truth. Now, as you say, individually they may be wonderful people, but the system captures them. If they don't do what the system says to do, they kick them out and say, if I've gone to school all these years, why would I go against the system? And so that's part of the problem. And so people have to actually take some control here of their own destiny, their health, and their faith.
And that's, I think, what we need to decide in 2014, this year, to take charge of our own health.
Yes, sir.
And do it right.
Yes, and that'll make the difference. And that's what Andrew Young did. He canceled a double knee replacement surgery. He canceled it. I mean,
but he gave you a chance to...
Yeah, he gave me 90 days. He said, I'll do your thing for 90 days.
And what did you do? How did you help him?
Well, I gave him the basic 90 essential nutrients, which we all need. You can't guarantee you're going to get it from your food, no matter how people say, I eat well, but that's not enough.
So you gave him 90
essential nutrients, 16 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 essential amino acids, 3 essential fatty acids. And then I gave him what we call the secret sauce that's designed to support and promote repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, all the stuff that makes up the joints of your knees and your hip and your shoulder and the disc between your vertebrae. And even in July, I thought this was fascinating, even in July of 2002, Harvard Medical School came out, published in the New England Journal of Medicine, and said joint replacement is useless, is worthless.
Wow. Really? They actually said that?
Oh, yes, sir. And 4 years later, in the Journal of the American Medical Association, they came out and said, don't waste your time doing back surgery for low back pain and sciatica. That was Harvard again, the Journal of the American Medical Association.
Why do they keep changing their minds?
Well, because they did what's called a meta-study. They looked at 300,000 people from all over the earth that had had joint replacements and back surgeries. And in every case, over a long time, it never worked.
Okay, now you also talked about dementia.
Yes, sir.
One more time, 65% of...
Well, first of all, you have to understand...
Because he had said that before we began taping the program.
Yes, well, first of all, people have to understand, Pastor Benny, that Alzheimer's is a physician-caused disease. Now, there's 4 different dementias. Vascular dementia.
Doc, repeat that, really.
Alzheimer's disease is a physician-caused disease.
Because?
Okay, well, Alzheimer's disease is a going away of the white matter of the brain, the myelin. The naked nerve fibers all tangle up and they short circuit and give you what's called Alzheimer's disease. Well, this myelin is 100% cholesterol. So when you go on a cholesterol-restricted diet, and then you make it worse by taking a cholesterol-lowering drug, it's kind of like saying, stay out of the sun, do not eat any egg yolks, do not take any vitamins and minerals, put sunblocker on, wear big brim hats and gloves and long sleeve shirts in the moonlight so you don't get skin cancer. You're not going to give it. Right now, you know the most terrible disease raging in young people in the industrialized world, including America, is rickets. It's a vitamin D3 deficiency. We learned that 200 years ago. Suddenly now it's coming back in America and Europe because everybody's following the doctor's advice of staying out of the sun. Don't take vitamins.
Yeah, because they're afraid to get, skin cancer.
Yeah. Well, if you do everything right, you won't.
Like what?
Take
right?
all your nutrients. You have to supplement with all 90.
So you can lay in the sun all you want?
Well, I wouldn't say all you want. You don't want to get burnt.
Oh, of course. But I mean, still, you can lay in the sun without the fear.
Yes, of cancer.
Of getting cancer if you do what?
Okay, supplement probably. For instance, in Australia, which has the highest rate of skin cancer because they have no ozone layer there.
Right.
There's a big hole. They have the highest rate of skin cancer. By taking one mineral, you can reduce your risk of skin cancer by 60% just by taking one mineral.
That's amazing.
Yeah. But doctors don't pay attention to that because they're more interested in the surgery and the chemotherapy and the radiation, that kind of stuff.
And the Alzheimer's?
Well, Alzheimer's disease is one of 4 dementias.
Okay.
The most common one is called vascular dementia, which is where you get the blood obstructed to your brain. Your arteries get clogged in your brain, just like the same thing that clogs your arteries in your heart and your kidneys. Eating free radicals, fried foods, processed meats, oils, meat cooked too well done, that kind of stuff.
I actually saw this on a program this morning where it said fried foods actually don't, they don't help you with that. That they actually can cause that.
That's right, clogs your arteries. It's not cholesterol, it's fried foods.
No, with the dementia, yeah.
That's right. And then you have what's called Korsakoff syndrome, which looks like Alzheimer's disease, but it was actually caused by a deficiency of a single vitamin. It was discovered by a Japanese naval surgeon in the late 1700s. You take this one vitamin, it goes away. And I've cured people who were designated as having Alzheimer's disease, terminal Alzheimer's disease, for 8 years, Pastor Benny.
My goodness.
And in 1 week's time, they get dressed, they walk out perfectly normal after just 1 week of being on these supplements. Because they had Korsakoff syndrome.
1 week?
1 week, yes, sir. And these are people who are unconscious, totally unresponsive. And they had to be fed through the G-tube, these vitamins. In 1 week, they get dressed, get up, and walk out perfectly normal. And then there's Wernicke-Korsakoff's, which is MS, multiple sclerosis, and this vitamin deficiency. And then there's Alzheimer's disease, which is a cholesterol deficiency, which is a physician-caused disease.
But you said 65% can be reversed.
Well,
you said that earlier.
Vascular dementia, Korsakoff syndrome, Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome, very rapidly reversed. Alzheimer's disease takes longer, might take 6 months to a year, depending on how much damage is in there. In the earliest of stages, it can happen fairly quickly. And of course,
but you can reverse it, though.
It has been reversed, yes. I mean, not 100% of the time.
Yeah, of course, but I mean,
it's
some of it anyway.
Yes, yes, yes.
And how do you do that? With these minerals and nutrients?
You have to stop the ongoing damage, which means you have to start eating 6 to 10 eggs a day, poached with soft yolks. You have to stay away from all the things that cause free radical damage.
And that does not harm you to eat that many eggs.
There was actually a study, not a study, I shouldn't say that. There was actually a case report reported out of Harvard Medical School. It was the New England Journal of Medicine. Came out. I use this in my lecture a lot of times. The doctor came out and had to rerun this guy's cholesterol. It was perfectly normal. And he says, well, what are you're 75, 80 years old. What do you attribute every one of your numbers in your blood test is normal. What do you attribute that to? He said, I eat 25 eggs a day. He said, what? I eat 25 eggs a day. I've been eating 25 eggs a day for 30 years. This is published in the New England Journal of Medicine. This guy eats 25. So I always tell my patients, Pastor Benny, I want you to eat 10 to 12 eggs a day. You can eat 25 if you want to, but don't eat any less than 10 to 12.
Really? And that will help them?
It'll help you get rid of Alzheimer's disease, help you prevent getting Alzheimer's disease.
I've never heard that. That's amazing. Heart disease. Let's talk about that.
There's not
prevention.
Pastor Benny, there's not a single heart disease that's caused by elevated blood cholesterol or too much bad cholesterol.
You said that yesterday. That was quite powerful.
That's correct. Well, let's see. The most common heart disease is congestive heart failure, caused by a deficiency of a single vitamin. There's a pastor in Southside Chicago. He was on heart transplant list for 3 years. 1 week's time on this program, his doctors, his cardiologist declared him cured and took him off of 27 prescription drugs.
Well, wait, and you put him on your program?
Yes, sir.
For a week?
For a week.
And you fixed him up?
Yes, sir. And it was his doctors that took him off
I
of all his
understand
medication, not me.
His own doctor said you're
cured.
You're fine now.
That's right.
What did you? How did you help him?
I gave him the 90 essential nutrients, plus I gave him extra that one vitamin that causes congestive heart. There's a vitamin deficiency that causes congestive heart failure.
What is that? Can you tell me?
Yes, sir. I will, because you asked me, because you're an agent of God.
Thank you, sir. Please tell me.
Thiamine, vitamin B1 deficiency causes congestive heart failure.
Really?
It's that simple.
Why don't they tell us that?
Well, because the doctor won't make any money if he'll make $30 for an office call if he tells you that. But if he puts you on the heart transplant list, Pastor Benny, he makes $250,000.
Dear God, I had a problem one time with my heart where it was skipping, and this doctor wanted to operate and electrocute my heart and scare the lights out of me. I said, no, man, I'm out of here, and I left.
And that's why you're still alive. Praise God.
Because I went to a doctor like you, and I said, hey, doc, they want to do all this stuff, and I don't want it. And the side effects with the meds they were going to put me on, I said, would be the worst. He put me on some nutrients and vitamins and supplements and fixed me up.
Well, did the doctor diagnose you with atrial fibrillation? Is that
Yeah, he did.
Well, it's not a heart problem.
Well, he told me it was, but
No,
anyway.
it's not true.
He said if it wasn't one side of the heart, I would actually drop dead.
No, sir.
You know, some of them are not really very positive. They just tell you, well, you got this.
Well, he's a used car salesman.
You're going to die if this happens. You're going to die if this happens. Then you got to take these medications, and here's all the side effects that go along. And I said, well, what if, you know, the side effects? Well, we just don't know. You have to. I said, forget it.
Well, atrial fibrillation is actually a back problem. Squeezing nerves that control your heart.
Now, let's stop. Dog.
Yes, sir.
A back problem.
Yes, sir.
After all those years, somebody tells me that. Okay.
I bet you had a back problem, too.
I did. I did because
well, you know,
I was in a
plane
plane crash. I was in a plane crash back in '83. Suzanne and I were in a Cessna, single engine. It crashed, and when I came out of the plane, my lower back, just if you look on the X-ray, it looks like a little curve. And they told me that every so often I have to like massage it or whatever.
And how much time later did you get the atrial fibrillation?
Not long after that.
Well, there you go. See, it's a back problem that causes that.
Well, how do you fix it? Well, when mine is gone though.
Yeah, you take the nutrients, repair the back, and it goes away.
And I did both.
Yeah, perfect.
Because but I was not connecting the back with it.
But you have to, because that's what causes it.
I'm glad I have you on the program. So a heart disease.
Okay, now there's 4 heart diseases. Congestive heart failure is the #1 cause of death in adults in America.
Okay.
Deficiency of a single vitamin, thiamine, vitamin B1. And then there's cardiomyopathy heart disease, causes sudden heart death. You're just walking along, drop dead. You see this in young athletes all the time.
Yes.
Okay. A track star, a basketball player.
What causes that?
That's a deficiency of a single mineral. I actually did 1,700 autopsies on kids under the age of 10 that actually died of that disease. Cardiomyopathy heart disease.
Because of one mineral?
A deficiency of a single mineral, yes, sir. And
I could ask you what it is, but I won't. Go ahead. Go ahead, because I want to keep
So if we give
talking.
if we give all 90 essential nutrients to all our kids, and we actually have a sports drink with 100 nutrients, and including that mineral, we will never have another young athlete drop dead from a sudden heart death.
And it's all in your book, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then the next one is actually called arteriosclerosis, where you get clogging of the arteries. That's not caused by cholesterol. It's caused by eating fried foods and processed meats and oils and that kind of stuff.
So fried foods and all that really are bad for you,
Yes,
as
sir.
they
Very
say.
bad.
Okay.
And then you get an omega-3 essential fatty acid deficiency. I actually sued the FDA over this and when it prevailed in federal court to be able to say this.
You sued them?
8 times, and I won.
Really? Wow.
And the one that actually caused, like when you get a coronary thrombosis, you get a blood clot in the coronary artery, that's caused by a deficiency of omega-3s. That's not genetic. It's caused by deficiency.
What's the best source of omega-3?
Well, if you eat salmon, oily fish.
But a whole lot of salmon, I bet.
No, not really, not that much. You only need 1 gram a day, 1,000 milligrams a day.
You told me on the program yesterday that eating healthy is not enough.
That's not enough, sir.
Because you have to have the supplements.
That's correct.
Why?
Well, you need, see, there's no insurance policy that will actually prevent or cure disease. The only insurance policy you have is to take the 90 essential nutrients in optimal amounts, because you can't guarantee you're going to get it from the food, no matter how well you eat. That's why billionaires, their average lifespan is only 66.
Really?
Yes.
They all die young.
That's right, because they eat well. They have the very most expensive doctors who say, now don't you take vitamins and minerals, that'll screw up our medicine.
My dear mother has diabetes, and I nearly had an argument with her doctor a few days back, because he will not let her take some vitamins because he says
Fire the doctor.
it goes against the medicines and it can harm her, blah, 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 all this stuff. You're telling me to just fire the guy.
Fire the doctor. Yes, sir.
I'm glad you're raw like that. You're really honest and blunt, right to the point. Okay.
Fire the doctor, and basically, you know, the phone book is full of hungry doctors, and you say, look, my mother is 80-something years old, she's got diabetes, and I've just fired a doctor who says he won't let me give her vitamins and minerals. You will let me give her vitamins and minerals? No, you're fired. You're fired, you're fired. Yes, I encourage you to give her vitamins. Okay, I want you to treat my mother. And so you have to go through. Isn't it funny, Pastor Benny, people will get 3 bids and 3 quotes when they're putting a roof on their house. Whatever their doctor says, they keep doing over and over and over, and they get sicker and sicker.
Well, because they have authority in their eyes. Doctors have authority because of the title, doctor, whatever. Now,
Dr. Death.
Not all of them, though. Doc, how about diabetes? It can be reversed,
yes, sir.
even in an old person, like my mom.
I don't care if you're 170 years old. If your heart is still pumping, type 2 diabetes is reversible. It's a simple
And hers
deficiency.
is type 2, so
Easy.
How do you reverse it?
Well, again, she gets the 90 essential nutrients, and she gets the secret sauce, which are 2 minerals that have been proven.
Now, he's not going to tell us what the secret sauce is, I suppose, but it's fine.
Well, the government won't let me tell you that.
Okay.
So I have to say this will support and promote healthy metabolism of carbohydrates.
At the end of the program, we will tell you how you can get his stuff. Okay, go ahead.
And so you take the secret sauce with the 90 essential nutrients, and it all goes away. This was 1957. We knew this in animals. We knew it for many years before that, but it was proven. And then the University of Vancouver up in Canada repeated it in humans and said, yeah, it's true. This is back in the 60s. Now, why don't doctors do that? Again, because why would they tell you to take these nutrients, which are God's tools, God's stuff, I call it, why would they tell you to do that? And they'd make $30, $60, $80, $100 for office calls when they can treat you for 25 years for diabetes, and then you go blind and you get your feet cut off and have heart disease and all this kind of stuff as complications of the disease. And so they've created a customer for life kind of thing.
Have they really found the cure for cancer in this world?
Yes, sir.
They have?
Yes, sir.
And why don't they talk about it?
Well, again,
because there's no money in it. Okay.
That's right. There's no money in it.
And there are more people dying with cancer today
yes, sir.
than died even 2 and 3 years ago.
That's correct.
That's what I'm hearing.
Yes.
Is that true?
That's
yeah.
correct. Well, it used to be when you and I were boys, it was like 1 out of 10 got cancer. Today, it's 1 out of 2. That's actual government statistics.
Wow. And because of what?
Well, to me, one of the most interesting things was it was a big study that came out of the University of South Carolina in 1998. And they looked at a large group of women. It was part of the nurses' health study, 90,000 nurses over 20 years, and they had one little piece, how the women cooked. They said women who cooked their meat, like roast beef, if they cooked it very well done, which doctors encourage you to do so you don't get salmonella and E. coli and stuff like this, you cook your meat very well done. Well, women who cook their meat very well done increased their risk of breast cancer by 462%. Pastor Benny, I don't even know what that means, because how much more is there than 100%? You know? But if you cook your meat medium rare, you reduce your risk of breast cancer by 462%. But if you cook your meat very well done, you increase your risk of breast cancer.
You told me that the last time, yeah.
Yes, sir. And so that's very fascinating.
And I thought it was the opposite, that if you eat rare meat, it actually is not as good for you. But anyways.
Well, it is. It's very good for you because it doesn't kill you.
Learning new things from you, Doc. I like it.
Well, again, you have to go back and you just look at the time when Jesus was alive. And they were very simple people who believed in God. And they were the ones who were rewarded. The ones who complicate things and give the responsibility to somebody else. That's why I always say they bet on the wrong horse. They bet on doctors.
Hey, Doc, listen, look at this camera and tell somebody who's sick, what must they do in 2014 to reverse their disease?
Well, they need to start getting bids when a doctor tells you to do something. Go to 14 different doctors and ask them what they would do, how much they're going to charge, and all that kind of stuff, especially if you've lost your insurance, right? Then, what you want to do is take all 90 essential nutrients. So you're giving your body all the raw materials it needs to maintain itself. Stay away from all the terrible things, fried foods, processed meats, deli slices, sandwich meats. Stay away from oils, margarines, mayonnaise, salad dressings, cooking oils. If you eat canned fish, it's fine, but eat them packed in water, mustard, tomato sauce, not oil. Stay away from gluten, wheat, barley, rye, and oats. Stay away from that stuff. It's all inflammatory. It clogs your arteries, it causes cancer. And then...
The gluten.
Yes, sir.
It actually can cause cancer.
Directly and indirectly.
And clog the arteries.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
and contribute to Alzheimer's, and contribute to and diabetes, many others.
Keep talking to them, Doc. They're listening to you.
It contributes to birth defects. We can eliminate every birth defect in America. We can make America a birth defect-free country in 9 months. If everybody takes the 90 essential nutrients and stays away from gluten, we can eliminate every birth defect. It's that simple. There's not a single genetically transmitted birth defect.
And it comes from those nutrients.
It comes from lack of nutrients. The embryo requires all
No,
these
no,
nutrients.
I mean, you can fix it all with nutrients.
They're preventable. See, we've done it in the animal industry. And doctors say, well, that's in animals. In humans, it's genetic. What nonsense. What absolute
You
nonsense.
don't believe that?
Well, it's not that I don't believe it.
That it's not genetic, because often they'll say, well, it's because whatever, your daddy had it, so you're going to have it.
Well, Pastor Benny, it's more than a belief, because I've actually, in one project for the National Institutes of Health, it was called the Center for the Biology of Natural Systems back in the 60s, I did 20,000 autopsies, 10 million chemistries. The book, it's 1,200 pages. It's in the Smithsonian Institute as a national treasure.
Oh.
Okay? And so this is not a belief based on just belief. This is based on facts. This is based on hard facts. I don't think there's another pathologist who's done, in all my projects, it's close to 30,000 autopsies. Truly, 80% of them are over 454 species of animals from all over the world. But that gives me an insight. And the other, maybe 13,000, are from humans.
You've helped how many people?
Oh, millions.
When you say millions, how many?
Oof, that'd be hard to count, because a lot of them don't report to me. They don't tell me. And so, and a lot of them would be somebody who would read the book and follow the instructions in the book, follow the recipe in the book, and they heal themselves.
And you hear from them?
Well, maybe sometimes they'll send me. I had to carry out a box today.
Well, didn't you have like a little challenge from somebody said, if you don't do, if this doesn't work, yes, I'm going to sue you or something?
Oh, it was worse than that. He said he would destroy me.
Destroy you, yeah.
Yes. This guy owns the third largest medical laboratory in America. His name is Jerry Murphy. He allows me to use his name. He had terrible diabetes. So we're talking about diabetes. He had terrible diabetes, and here's a guy who's connected with the top endocrinologists, the top doctors. He's got his fingers on the pulse of the cutting edge of research when it comes to new drugs coming along for diabetes. And he was failing. He was already getting tingling in his feet. He was going to have his legs amputated.
And he told you what?
He said, well, we met in a dark back room of a mom and pop restaurant, kind of like at 5 in the morning, so nobody could see us, right? Goodness. And he says, I said, why are we in a dark room? I thought, was he going to kill me? I mean, why are we in a dark room? He says, well, because I don't want anybody to see us together. I don't want me to give you any credibility. I said, well, that's fine. Well, he says, well, I'm going to give you 90 days because our mutual friend here, Rich, says that you can get rid of my diabetes in 90 days. I said, I probably can. He said, I'll tell you what, I'll make you a wager, Wallach. I said, okay, I'm up for wagers. He says, if you can do it, we'll be best friends. We'll do some stuff together. We'll help a lot of people. Fair enough. I said, what's the other part of the wager? He says, I will destroy you if you fail. He says,
and you helped him.
I said, you're on, Jerry. And he freaked out. He says, no, you better be sure because I'm keeping my word. I will destroy you, Wallach, if you don't perform. In 3 months' time, all his numbers were normal for the first time in his life.
Wow.
And now we're best friends, and he has a series of clinics called, well, I won't tell you on the air, but he has a series of clinics which only use our programs.
That is amazing. You've been in this
True
for 30-something years.
35 years, yes, sir.
And he's 74 years young and still going strong.
Dr. Joel Wallach has made a tremendous impact on viewers during his multiple interviews with Pastor Benny Hinn on recent programs. Today, he returns for an informative discussion on what is causing the sharp increase in cancer, which is occurring in men, women, and children, with an emphasis on reversal and prevention.
Amazing. Dr. Wallach is here again because you wonderful people keep asking for him. And here he is.
Thank you.
You know, when you came with me back a few weeks ago, the calls we had, I was just amazed, really. And today we're going to talk about more of what's really happening in this world and in America. You were telling me that people are hurting out there, and
yes,
you've been traveling a lot. Why, Doc? Why are they hurting?
Well, Pastor Benny, for the past 36 years, I've given 300 lectures a year. I travel almost in a different city every day. Sometimes 2 cities in one day, like on a Saturday, I might be in one city, then we drive for 6 or 8 hours, we're in another city. And what I've seen is that people are being switched from full-time jobs to part-time jobs so that the business does not have to pay for their medical benefits, their health care benefits. People are losing.
It's happening a lot now?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. When you look at the real unemployment, when you look at the real unemployment, on the average, when you take all communities together, you're looking at about 12 to 15%. When you're looking at the millennials, kids under the age of 25, look at 25% unemployment. They come out of college, there's no jobs for them. All these big companies that were standard, I mean, you remember Montgomery Ward's is gone.
Sure.
Macy's is closing a third of their stores, firing 20,000 employees.
Because of what?
Because of the cost of health care.
So now people are looking elsewhere for their health.
Exactly. Now people are beginning to shop around. They're looking for other things. For instance, a hip replacement costs $78,000. One hip replacement costs $78,000. Again, if you use our program for supporting and promoting maintenance repair of cartilage and hips, you're looking at, maybe for a 200-pound person, you're looking at $5 to $10 per day. You're looking at $300 a month. Maybe 3 months, you're at $900 compared to $78,000. So you don't have to refinance your house.
So you can help people,
yes, sir,
who are losing, who need hip surgery or knee surgery,
yes,
for like less than $1,000.
Yes, sir.
With your program.
Yes, sir.
Yet if they go the conventional way,
it's $78,000, and it only fixes that one joint temporarily. Whereas when you use a nutritional approach, it fixes all 72 joints.
But Doc, does the nutritional side work? I mean, a lot of people are asking about you.
100% of the time.
It works. Okay.
There's
Now you know that
it won't work.
Doctors don't like you. By the way, I spoke to some. They forgive me.
As long as God loves you.
They think you're a wacko. Forgive me for being. I'm just being blunt with you.
They call me a quack.
They call you a quack.
Yes,
they don't like you, and yet more people are calling for your books on our program than I've ever seen before. Is it because people like the way you look, or what?
No,
what is it about you?
It's not my looks.
What is it? Is it your suit? Is it all the stuff you wear on it?
No, sir.
What is it that's intriguing about you?
Well,
I mean, I know that you help people, because I know you told me Creflo Dollar's daughter, Andrew Young, and a whole lot of
professional
people.
athletes, country western singers, famous movie stars, yeah, and
So
billionaires come to me.
I'm sorry?
I'm the physician of billionaires. I mean, I'm talking about people who are much wealthier than Donald Trump and Warren Buffett and people like that.
And they come to you
Yes,
because you've helped them.
Oh, yes, sir.
And they know you can do it.
Yes, sir. They have 98% blockages in their coronary artery, 98% blockages in the widowmaker. And the doctor says, look, the only thing left, and it's very dangerous, but we got to do bypass, we got to put stents in. And the billionaires don't want that, so they come to me.
And what do you do to help them? How do you fix them?
Change their diet, get them off the fried food, get them off the oils, get them off the free radicals, margarines, mayonnaise, that sort of stuff. And we get them onto butter and cream for cooking and water for cooking. Then we give them the 90 essential nutrients. And we have a secret sauce for supporting and promoting healthy blood flow through blocked arteries in the heart, in the brain, the eyes, the kidneys. And
now that's secret sauce.
Yes, it's called Ultimate Daily Tablets. It's designed to do that. And then we throw in one more thing called HGH. And it has a substance in there that actually causes the blood vessel to release a natural substance which dilates the artery. So even if it's blocked, if you dilate that artery maybe 4 or 5 times, even if it's blocked, you're going to get more blood flow. So almost overnight they feel better. I get people who call me, their blood pressure is spiking, Pastor Benny, from Canada. This was just a couple days ago. There's one fellow from New Brunswick, Kansas, on the east coast of Canada. He says his blood pressure is like 240 over 126. I said, are you close to emergency? No. I said, do you have any of our chocolate? Do you have any of our liquid chocolate, Youngevity?
Chocolates?
Yes, sir. He
you
says,
give him chocolates?
Yes, sir. Because chocolate,
Doc, you're too much.
And chocolate has flavonols in it, which dilate arteries. I said, take it, call me in an hour. He called me, he says, Doc, I had to take it 3 times. I didn't believe it. My blood pressure is now 126 over 72. I'm not going to the emergency room. And we figured out it was a medication. His
Doc,
doctor,
are you for real?
Yes, sir. Chocolate is your best friend when you have high blood pressure.
Amazing. Wow.
Yeah, not milk chocolate, dark chocolate. So we have a liquid called Youngevity. We have a piece of chocolate the size of a pat of butter called Triple Treat chocolate.
You know, I've been in the healing ministry for nearly 40 years. I've never met anybody like this man. Nowhere. And, you know, I believe in healing, and that's why I have him on. In fact, this is his 3rd visit with me, because you, dear people, keep calling for him and keep calling for his books. I never seen a thing like it. So, well, let's bring him back, because he's got more stuff and another thing now, another DVD we will tell you about, brand new thing. Now, Doc,
Yes, sir.
let's get back to cancer.
Okay.
I have some people that I know who have died, and it's really shaken me.
Yes.
That I know personally.
People we love, yes.
People we love are dying. And I read a report on Google News and CNN News on my iPhone. I like to look at that because it's so, it's so easier. And I read a report where now cancer is the #1 killer in America. And they're saying millions more will die the next few years with cancer.
Yes, sir.
Because they can't stop it, I guess. What's going on?
We can stop it.
Well, they're saying they can't, okay? That it's just gone beyond their control. You told me yesterday why it's killing people, but
Yes.
how do you reverse it?
Okay.
But just in case someone missed
Well, just
it,
briefly.
what's causing all this?
Okay, well, briefly, it's much easier, much more economical to prevent cancer than it is to treat it, okay?
Of course.
And so that's just true.
How do we prevent it?
Okay. Have to give up oils, all free radicals, trans fatty acids, heterocyclamines, acrylamides.
Stop all the oils.
Stop all the oil, even olive oil, even coconut oil. Got to get rid of it. Cook in butter, cook in margarine, bake in lard. If your religion doesn't mean you can't eat lard, right? But go to France. They live 10 years longer than we do.
Where?
France.
Okay.
They cook everything in lard. I mean, can you imagine a French croissant being cooked in margarine?
But, we heard that stuff is bad for your heart.
Who told us that?
You hear it all the time.
From doctors.
Clog arteries.
No.
Don't eat butter. No croissants. All that.
Absolutely wrong. Okay.
But how much butter? You can't eat a whole lot of
Eat a
it.
stick of butter a day. Just remember the Eskimos. They eat all this fat and red meat, and they have the fewest heart attacks of any culture. Now,
You make me laugh.
Okay.
You're telling
That's
me
good.
the
Laughter is good
opposite of
medicine.
what I've heard all these years. Okay.
Well, that's why we're in
So
trouble.
stop all the oils.
Yes, sir.
Fried
dying.
oils, all that
That's why
stuff.
the pastors are dying, because they give the most wonderful spiritual lecture in their church, and then they go downstairs with their church family and they eat fried chicken. Bam! They're dead. That
Well, then
fried
how
chicken,
should you eat the chicken?
baked, roasted, stewed, crock-potted, not fried.
No more fried chicken. Okay.
No, sir.
So everything fried must stop.
Everything fried must stop.
Okay. What else?
And processed meats with nitrates, nitrites like in deli slices and sandwich meats and sausage, ham, bacon.
And you
bologna.
also said frozen fruit. Desserts. Like it's a no-no.
Yeah, it's kind of like fake ice cream.
Frozen desserts
Yes, sir.
will cause cancer.
Yes, sir. And clog your arteries and cause you to have Alzheimer's disease, all kinds of weird stuff.
Wow.
Okay.
I need to have you back to talk about, Alzheimer's, why so many people are losing their memory.
It's
and all this.
physician-caused disease.
Doc,
Yes,
really?
sir. Yes,
Come
sir.
on.
Absolutely. Now, I'm a pathologist. I do
Wait.
Alzheimer's.
It's a physician-caused
Yes,
disease?
sir. Yes, sir. It did not exist by any other name 42 years ago, Pastor Benny. Today, it's #4 killer of adults in the United States.
And what?
Okay, Alzheimer's is the going away of the myelin.
Yeah, but what are they telling them that's causing it?
I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
Myelin, the white matter of the brain, the insulation material of the brain, goes away when you have Alzheimer's disease, and your nerve fiber short circuit, and you lose your memory. Well, what causes that? Well, a going away of the myelin, the white matter. The white matter makes up 75% of your brain weight, and the white matter of your brain, the myelin that goes away when you have Alzheimer's disease, is 100% cholesterol. So here you are, you're following your doctor's directions. So say, I'm going to eat egg beaters instead of eggs. Egg beaters are made from oil. They're not eggs. Okay? Then you're going to eat tofu and nuts instead of red meat. Then you're
And
gonna
that's bad for you?
That's bad for you.
Tofu.
No.
What?
No. The fact that you replace the meat with it is bad. You can eat tofu. Look at the Chinese. They have 1.5 billion people.
Okay.
Okay, they live longer than we do. Tofu is fine. But if you replace it totally with meat, Chinese don't give up meat. I mean, if it crawls or slithers or swims or flies or walks, they eat it, okay? I go to China a lot. Let me tell you, they eat meat five times a day.
They eat stuff I would never even look at. But anyways,
Exactly.
go ahead.
Okay, and so I actually sued the FDA in federal court and prevailed over a trace mineral called selenium to be able to make claims. And
You
legally.
sued them?
Yes, sir.
And you won?
I've sued 8 times the FDA in federal court, and I prevailed 8 times.
Wow.
Now, on the selenium and cancer, I sued them to be able to have a claim for our product that says, by supplementation with 200 micrograms, 1/5 of a milligram of our selenium, you can actually reduce your risk of cancer. Okay, and I'll tell you the percentage in just a minute. And also, it will support your body's ability to make anti-cancerous substances like glutathione. And they didn't want to do that. They fought me in court, but the federal judge saw that I had enough research to back it, and the federal judge said, okay, Wallach wins. So I can now say these things legally on your
God bless
program.
him for that.
Now, Just by the University of Arizona, I believe it was 1998, came out and said, this is a big study, 7-year study on, I don't know, 1,300 men or something like that. They said, if you supplement with 200 micrograms of selenium, it will reduce your risk of prostate cancer by 69%, colorectal cancer by 64%, and also lung cancer, either smoke or not, by 32%. Now, we asked Clemson University from Clemson, South Carolina, to do a study on 2 of our multiple vitamin products. One a liquid called Ultimate Classic, and they gave this Ultimate Classic to human cell cultures, normal cells, also our Beyond Tangerine. They gave that one to human natural normal cells. And no toxicity. It increased the lifespan and the health of the cells, so they doubled it, kind of like double what our recommendations were. It increased the cell's life longer and more health, and they doubled again. And they said, we can't find a toxicity level of your program. Then they took the same 2 products, and they gave it to human cell cultures that had colon cancer, liver and stomach cancer, and breast cancer. Our one product, Ultimate Classic, killed 95% of the colon cancer cells in cell culture. The Beyond Tangerine killed 65%. When it came to liver cancer and stomach cancer, the Ultimate Classic killed 65%, and the Beyond Tangerine killed 32%. Breast cancer, both of them killed 32%.
These are things that you offer.
Yes, sir.
Minerals.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
Supplements.
Yes,
all
yes.
that.
Yes, sir. Part of our, what we call our Healthy Start Pack, or
So that's how you've been able to reverse cancer in some people?
yes, of course, you have to appreciate that cancer is things that are going wrong in cells. If you give the cells the right raw materials, the cells back off and say, you know, I've got all my raw materials here. I don't have to do all this bad stuff anymore. I'm not driven to do this bad stuff. And again, we use the information from Clemson University, University of Arizona, the Harvard Nurses Health Study. It was 20 years, 90,000 nurses. We learned so much for that. We employ all this information.
It's so sad they don't tell you this out there.
No, they don't tell you. But it's all in here.
Well, of course you do. Yeah. But I mean, chemotherapy is killing people, or they treat them with all kinds of...
Doctors make $40,000 every time they give you chemotherapy.
What?
They make $40,000. But insurance pays, so who worries? But the chemotherapy kills more people than the cancer does.
All the time or sometimes?
Most of the time. Chemotherapy fails 97% of the time. That was in New England.
Now, sometimes chemotherapy will help
reduce the size of the tumor.
Well, it did with my father-in-law. Then the cancer came back and killed him because he was older. Pardon?
It didn't cure him. It just reduced the size of the cancer. Well, now here.
So that's all it does, basically.
Reduce the size of the cancer. It does that. But
and then you think they're okay.
Yeah. Now here, Nature magazine came out last year. Very well-respected scientific journal, Nature magazine. They came out and said 85% of all the cancer research published in medical and scientific journals is a lie. Nature magazine said 85% is a lie.
Wow.
Because the pharmaceutical company that did the research, the universities that did the research at the behest of the pharmaceutical company, left out all the bad stuff. They didn't say that, oh, well, it will reduce the size of the cancer, but it also kills the patient. They didn't say that kills the patient part. They didn't tell the patient that when they said, here's an option for him. And so they said 85% of what is said about a new cancer treatment is published in journals is wrong. That was in Nature magazine 1 year ago. It's all a big lie.
So people have to take charge of their own health and
Yes, sir.
future and not be dependent on what they are hearing.
That's correct.
From whoever.
Doctors. We have to put the finger where it's at, Pastor Benny.
I mean, it's scary when you hear all the young people dying with cancer today.
Yes.
It's like, why is this happening?
Well, how many young people take the 90 essential nutrients? Very few. This is where we as parents...
Yeah, but they don't know about it.
Well, that's our job. I'm so honored that you would help me share this information so that people can get it to their kids and grandkids. Back about 2008, cover story in Time magazine. Right on the cover it said, the next generation is going to be worse off than us. You get into the article, what it says is that our generation are going to be burying our children. We're going to be standing at a gravesite burying our children because we followed the doctor's advice for our children. It was wrong. We should have followed grandmother's advice, not the doctor's advice.
I mean, you sweet people ought to Google the information about cancer, because I just saw it, where cancer is increasing in America and the world. They're saying now it's the #1 killer, And in the next few years or something, there'll be like 7 million people dying
In 10 years, 7 million people.
per year or something.
Well, no, and right now it's 7 million people. In 10 years, it'll be 70 million.
Can you believe that 7 million a year are dying with cancer already? And it's going up, it's
Yes,
not
sir.
going down.
That's because people are listening to doctors who are doing the wrong thing.
But still, even people who are trying the nutritional side, they too, in some cases, are dying. And
Of
it's not
course.
how, why?
Okay. Well, nutrition is not the sort of thing that,
I know a lady in Florida who was doing the nutritional side and she died.
Yes.
Why?
Well, because she didn't do it properly.
What do you mean?
Okay. You can eat well, and your quality of life will go up. You may live 50% longer than the doctor predicted. He may say you have 90 days to live. You might live 180 days. And your quality of life will be much better than being in a hospital being given chemotherapy. So that can be useful from that standpoint. But unless you're supplementing with the antioxidants, the bioflavonoids, unless you're keeping your telomeres, which is the end caps on your chromosomes that allow your chromosomes to heal and rebuild themselves.
Explain that part.
Telomeres. Well, it's kind of like that little thing on the end of your shoestring, that little plastic thing that keeps the end of the shoestring from fraying. On the end of each chromosome, there's a telomere. And that's that little end cap thing that prevents it from fraying. Well, there's only 51, normally there's 51 duplications in that telomere. After that, your chromosomes won't duplicate anymore, you're dead. Well, so what we've learned to do is increase the life of that telomere to maybe 100 duplications instead of 51. And we actually have a product for that. It's based on the 2009 research, Nobel Prize winning research, 2009. All that research is in this new product. And we invented a new element, Pastor Benny, it's called immortalium.
And what does that do?
It increases the lifespan of your telomeres, so your normal duplication of your liver, your intestines, your brain, your heart, your lungs, your kidney, all this.
So this lady who died, she was doing the nutritional thing, but she didn't do it right because she wasn't following what?
Well, she didn't have all the information. I'd have to see what she did, and I can tell you what's missing.
I mean, she was taking supplements because I know she did. So was she taking the wrong supplements?
Well, maybe she was taking the right ones, but for instance, was she getting all 90? Was she taking a supplement that had 28?
I don't know that part.
So where was she getting the other, if she had 28, where was she getting the other?
I have no idea. All I know is
62.
She was, but still, I mean, you're helping a lot of people with your supplements. Many of them are calling you, and you're telling me now that it's preventable and reversible.
It's very easily preventable. Cancer is the most easy thing to prevent. It's not genetic in any way, shape, or form. Again, James Watson, one of the two guys that got the Nobel Prize in 1962 for the double helix of DNA, and they asked him, after 60 years of the discovery of the double helix structure of DNA, after the genome, human genome being published in 2001, they called him to the Salk Institute right here in San Diego, in the University of California, San Diego, UCSD.
And asked him what?
And asked him, okay, it's been 60 years now. We have the human genome mapped out for 12 years. What are the 10 diseases that we're going to be able to eliminate using this genetic information in the next 10 years? Tell us. And he said, it ain't happening. He says, you can sequence 150,000 cancer patients and diabetic patients a day. We're not going to solve.
So it's not genetic.
It's not genetic. The guy who got the Nobel Prize for it says it's not genetic. We went down the wrong rat hole, Pastor Benny. It's all nutrition. He said it's all chemistry, biochemistry. It's all nutrition.
All nutrition.
Yes, sir.
It's what we eat.
Yes.
Wow. Well, so what do we do?
Okay. We have to eat properly, and the correct diets in the book, Dead Doctors Don't Lie. It's in the book Immortality. In the book Immortality, Pastor Benny, I tell people exactly the top 20 longevity cultures, what they eat, what is their secrets. You can do that at home. You can eat exactly as they do.
What's the lowest, like, if take a place on Earth where cancer is almost non-existent? Where? Okay. Where would that be?
In the Western Hemisphere, let's say, in the Nicoyan Peninsula, the Pacific coast of Costa Rica and Central America, there was a cover article in National Geographic, May of 2013. That's very recent.
Okay.
Okay, just about 10 months ago.
Last year, yeah.
Yeah, 10 months ago. Had a picture of a cute little girl, 2 years old, and said, this child will live to be 120. They're the longest lived people in the Western Hemisphere, these Nicoyans.
And what do they eat?
Well, they still use wood for fuel. They're a third world culture. They have no doctors, no clinics, no insurance. They're still using wood for fuel, but the trees that grow there grow in the soil that has all the minerals in it necessary to prevent cancer. They're putting the wood ashes in their garden where they grow their corn and their tomatoes. They make their salsa.
And they're
Okay,
getting,
but now we don't live there. So what do? We just gotta
we take the Healthy
follow.
Start pack and supplement with selenium. I sued the FDA over that to be able to say that.
Pardon?
I sued the FDA to be able to say you supplement with selenium, you reduce your risk of cancer.
You sued them and you won.
In federal court, yes, sir. That's one of my 8 lawsuits.
And they tried to do what to you?
Well, they tried to prevent that from being said. And so I had to sue them in federal court to be able to say it without getting put in jail and my company taken away from me.
You're bold.
Well,
Wow.
when you know that God's backing you, you can be bold, can't you? That's why I trust God.
Well, Doc, a lot of people are intrigued by you, and you make a lot of sense today. I mean, we're all worried about the future, insurance rates, what's going to happen here, even in America, with health costs, on, and we are all looking for better options.
Your cheapest insurance is to eat right, to supplement with all 90 essential nutrients, stay away from doctors as much as possible. I even teach you in this book and another book.
Well, not all doctors. Some of them are sweet, dear
They are
Christian
sweet, dear people. They're Christians.
who will help us.
I
Like if you
love
break
them.
a leg, you know, you have to go see a doctor or whatever.
Maybe an Eagle Scout would be better sometimes.
Doc, you're too much. But anyways, listen. You know, my mom used to have a saying: "Eat the fish, throw the bones." You know.
Yeah, yeah.
If there's good fish, eat the fish. What you don't like, don't bother with it.
Alejandra Díaz presentó. ¿Necesitas asesoramiento? Llama a Alejandra Díaz.